Alright, so it should be good. Alright, we'll try this here. Hopefully it goes and stays. Okay, we're live. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Races Elite Network. Tonight at the Phoenix International Raceway is qualifying kicked off so far, and just a moment ago, Truth Oak had the current fast time. However, that has changed since then. Stephen Luttrell and Christopher Pendle have taken over the top two spots. So Chevy had it, Toyota took it over, and then Ford took over at the top of the leaderboard there. However, things a little mistrued. Just looking at things here, so we'll do and pop this back up here. Phoenix International Raceway, Race Elite Network Xfinity Series race. Ron Piles, Dakota LaRue bringing you guys the action, and quite an interesting night going here. So we'll see how things play from here as far as the weather, track temperature, and 54 laps being a fuel run.
Man, have you ever been to Arizona?
I don't think I have. I had to think about it.
Let me tell you, man. I used to drive a truck. I got out of the truck. Everyone's talking about, oh, it's so hot here, it's so hot here. Well, it's a dry heat, man, I tell you. So you get out and you're like, oh, this ain't that bad. You get walking around about 10, 15 minutes. You're like, oh, okay. You get back in your truck and got that ice cold AC blowing on you, and all of a sudden it hits you, and you're just like, whoa. You know, I about had a heat stroke. The heat down there ain't no joke. It'll sneak up on you. Versus over here on the East Coast, we got that real humid heat. You know, you feel it right away.
Yeah, it's a little different. I haven't been out there. I've been close. I've been to California. I've been to Kansas. I've been in the desert. So I definitely have had the experience. It may be a little more different than I'm used to, but I'm kind of in that same realm a little bit. So yeah. So far, Brandon Sanfilippo now looks like he had a personal best 29.832. That'll put him ninth quick on the board. And the 0-1 of Sean Dunaway, the Hello Kitty sponsored ride. He's out there on the speedway now. We always highlight the Hello Kitty machine, one of our favorites here. We were talking about Brandon Biddy pre-race, running about two. He's going to run the equivalent of two of these Racers Elite Network's Xfinity Series races tonight, since he ran the equivalent amount of laps during practice, and then some.
Yeah, about 106 laps during practice for Brandon Biddy. A couple other people about 80 or 90 around in there. I mean, these guys are really making sure that they're practiced up and ready to go for today's event.
Yeah, most definitely. Sean Dunaway now going to go fourth quick on the leaderboard with a 29.395 on his first lap. As he's going to make his way around here, we'll see if he can best his lap the second time around in that 0-1 Hello Kitty sponsored machine. And look like he got a little loose, a little wobble. Is it going to be better for Sean Dunaway? And survey says Lee Campbell, 30.046, and not so much for Sean Dunaway. His second lap slower, 29.441.
You know, I just realized with this being older Phoenix, it's going to throw me off a little bit. I'm like, where's the dog leg? Oh, wait, there isn't one.
There is no dog leg, and yes, that's a conversation that we've had about this, the way this is going to play.
Why is the start-finish line on the backstretch? I mean,
bingo. And
where's the restart zone? That's the big one.
Oh, yeah, I ain't looked at that yet. Here's the 22 of Brandon Biddy, speaking of, in the CarShop.com sponsored Ford Mustang loose off of corner number 2. Assume that's 4. Yeah, that's gonna throw us all for a loop today. We're all hang it up, boys. We're gonna do everything.
Go ahead and pack it up and go home. It's done.
Here we go. The 12 off of turn number 4. Brandon Sanfilippo's lap time, 29.832. Comes 98. Here comes Andrew Teft to the line this time. It's like out lap. We'll see.
Yeah, Brandon Biddy about to cross the line for his first lap here.
14.6. Well, there we go. 29.460. 14.6 was a sector time.
Good enough for about 5th place currently, as he's still got about one more lap, I think.
So this is like a struggle course for him, I believe. We got a minute and 56 seconds left of qualifying, and Sanfilippo across again that lap, not counting. He's running some extra laps here. Andrew Tepp 14.680 in the sector time, and he will go 29.494. Good enough for 7th for the time being, and Brandon Biddy is his second lap faster, just a little bit, not enough for a position top 5 for Brandon Biddy.
He brought on board with Andrew Teft here as he's coming through the final 2 corners for his qualifying attempt here. Ooh, real loose on that exit. Able to keep it going straight though. Oh, big improvement for Andrew Test. That's going to send him straight to the pole.
29.262. What a lap heater. Somebody get the rockets out. We have to get the fire extinguishers out. Cool the jets down. Andrew Tuft laid down a lap. Burnt the asphalt up here tonight.
Hey, somebody's going to have to go check that thing for a bottle of NOS in the roll cage or something.
He was definitely checking that thing out here. We got 54 seconds left to qualify. We'll visit our point standings later under what we may interpret as Insurance Centers Incorporated caution, if we happen to have any. If not, we'll cover them at the end of the race. As far as coming into the night wasn't bad, but one race in, everybody's trying to get their foothold in the ground. So we'll see what we got going on. Here's our starting lineup. Getting ready to come your way. Some interesting stuff. $18 drivers checked in here tonight, so we'll see how things play out. Gonna be fun. The field is full. I've got a nice little blurb for tonight.
And Great Lakes Sim, we want to appreciate you for stopping by. He said, let's go Pendle.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, Pendle starting P2, so not a bad qualifying attempt out of him, and we'll be trying to keep an eye on for you.
Alrighty, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the edge of your seats. The air is thick with anticipation. The engines are screaming for freedom, and the asphalt is about to burn. After a breathtaking qualifying run, the fastest drivers of the race's elite are locked, loaded, and ready to duel. From the pole position to the back of the pack, these warriors are ready to risk it all for glory and bragging rights. The wait is over. It's time for tonight's main event. Here is your starting lineup. Starting inside of the front row is going to be the 98 of Andrew Teft, and his outside, the 94 of Christopher Pendle. Starting inside of row number 2, in the third starting position is the 36 of Stephen Luttrell, and his outside, the 55 of Truth Hoke will start P4. Starting inside of row number 3, in the fifth starting spot, is the 01 Hello Kitty's ride of Sean Dunaway, and his outside, Car Shop's number 22 is Brandon Biddy. Inside of row number 4, starting in the 7th position is Curtis Ucker in the 8, and his outside, Hess's Kyle Hess in the 86 will start P8. Inside row number 5 in the 9th starting spot is going to be the 17 of Hendricks Bromberg, and his outside, it is the number 4 of Dennis Kane starting in position number 10. Starting inside of row number 6 in the 11th starting spot is the 96 Levi Garrett's Barry Nelson, and his outside, Lee Campbell in the 60 Goodyear sponsored drive will start P12. Starting inside of row number 7, the 13th starting spot will be the number 12 of Brandon Sanfilippo, and his outside, Bill Hagan, and will start P14 in the 48. Starting inside of row number 8 in the 15th starting spot is the number 88 of Troy Thomas, and his outside, the 10 of Kirby Wainscott will start P16. Starting inside of row number 9 in the 17th starting spot is the 50 of Terry Fennell, and his outside, the 91 of Russ Martin Jr. will start P18. That is your starting lineup here for the race at the Phoenix International Raceway. We are ready to go green coming up next. Well, what do you think? Who's your pick tonight? It's early, but we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this done right.
Kind of want to say Brandon Biddy he realistically already ran the full race stint, but I mean the weather's probably changed since then. Sean Dunaway would be another great pick here, but my actual pick is going to be Stephen Luttrell. I think he's going to get that win he's been trying to get, and I think it's going to be tonight.
I like your enthusiasm. Last week's winner, Brandon Sanfilippo, starting in position 14 here tonight. It's going to be a tough road to hoe for him. We'll see if he can get it done. Not really my pick, just a little highlight for him there, but I think I'm going to look up here. I'm taking Christopher Pendle on the outside as the iRacing.com space car pulls in. Green flag is out, and away we go down the front straightaway. Man, always the dead heat going into turn 1. Andrew Teft Christopher Pendle working the outside. Now we'll see if he can get that Celsius 94 to the front as Andrew Tupp laid that heater down. But now he's having to try to battle it back on the inside. Tell you what a race this is going to be. We're drag racing down. This will be what you would call the dog leg, kind of.
Yeah, for those at home, with this being the older track, this track is going to be a little bit slicker than it typically is if you've watched a race here before, especially with the surface not being repaved and all that.
Yeah, most definitely. This thing is rolling around here. Andrew Tuft is definitely taking command. Christopher Pendle's hanging on to the second spot right now as Andrew Tuft is the fastest lap of the race already. Is no real surprise there. 34.289, so not far off his qualifying time. Side-by-side battle. Here comes Truth Hope looking to the outside of Stephen Luttrell. Luttrell's also trying to take a look to the inside of the 94. Pendle for second. Not going to happen right now, though.
Yeah, he don't want to do that too many times. He's got Truth Hope breathing out his neck in that fourth place spot there. He's going to give him enough room to potentially get on the outside of him here.
Yeah, it's a lot of good battling going on here. Look at Sean Dunaway now he's lost a spot, but he's trying to come forward now. It's going to be interesting to see. One of the things here that I don't really know is going to play a big role in this, but teammates throughout the course of the race. We've got going through the teams' roles in the rosters here earlier today. I realized that we don't have a lot of teams really working together here. There's a lot of individuals out here trying to make a name for themselves and maybe try to get picked up by some of these teams. So a lot of drivers not signed. They're kind of representing themselves inside the Racers Elite Network.
Yeah, that is true. As like the Sunday series and stuff, there's pretty prominent teams of people that work together. Like, for instance, one would be, Andrew Teth, Kirby Wayne Scott, and that group of drivers there as more of an established team of Chicken Coop Racing.
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of drivers Chicken Coop Racing. We highlight those a little bit here is while we wait through the course of everybody getting settled in here and getting comfortable through the course of this event. We got multiple drivers involved in that. Those two, as you can see here, Kirby Wayne Scott currently in 15th, Curtis Ecker in 7th, Sean Dunaway in 5th, and Andrew Tuff currently a racer. That's the Chicken Coop Racing team currently out here on the racetrack here at Phoenix.
And I will say, Stephen Luttrell wasting no time trying to get through the field as he's already took over P2, currently closing on your leader, Andrew Tift.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to get up front here, lead some laps to get those bonus points. So that's a big plus to take going forward here as well.
Oh yeah, any extra points would definitely help, especially with the style of playoffs we do here at Racers Elite. It looks like Sean Dunaway taking a look to the inside of Truth Oak in that 55 machine. Able to get him clear coming down the front stretch, back stretch? Back stretch.
Back straight away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Used to that being the front stretch, that is the back stretch now.
Yeah, it's interesting calling that out. It's today is definitely going to throw us for a loop.
And I mean, pending any cautions here, these drivers are only in for a one-stopper, as I believe we were told the field window is about 54 laps. So could see a little bit of strategy played out possibly, but I'm going to assume everyone's going to try to make it a one-stopper here. Could potentially try to see a two-stopper, get a little bit fresher tires, see if they can make up time and ground that way, but it's going to be really hard for them if they do.
Yeah, looking back here, looking at Bill Hagan, he's currently holding a starting spot. He's trying to put the moves on Hendricks Bromberg, but has not been able to make that pass yet. So he's trying to get that Lowe's-powered 48 machine to go forward, but looks like he's going to give that ground up a little bit, maybe rethink his strategy, get around Bromberg. Not going to happen currently. Kirby Wayne Scott in the number 10 Toyota working the 15th position currently. Started in 16th, currently hanging on the 15th spot. Russ Martin Jr. started 18th. He's currently in 16th as he's trying to fill his server out in his Adrenaline Racing sponsored 91 car.
Yeah, and speaking of Hendricks here in that 17 machine, you know, he's rocking one of our sponsors for Racers Elite, AmericaTees.com. Go check him out. You can get 10% off a code run over.
Heck yeah. That's awesome, you know, seeing a company come out there and help out the Racers Elite Network, help Andrew at Racers Elite as well, help keep this thing rolling and draw interest into the series.
That is very true. It's always nice to have a little bit of sponsorship, especially to help with all, Andrew's got race control, the broadcasting. They do payouts for races sometimes and stuff like that. And it definitely helps. That is for sure.
Wait, you mean we're not
Still
doing
some
this for
pretty
free?
Wait, what's
Wasn't
free? It's free.
wasn't that a song? What was that? Chips for free or something like that?
I don't remember, to be honest with you, but I will say the front four have pulled away from fifth place back. They're already up to a 3-second gap here as Brandon Beatty leading that second group. Kind of interested to see if this is a little bit of a strategy call out of them to go a little bit slower, have a little bit better pace on a long run here. But currently right now, Andrew Tess has led, I believe, every lap of the race so far.
Yeah, as far as I'm tracking here, Andrew Teft has led. Well, we can find out. Let's flip an overlay. Lap leaders. And Andrew Teft has led all 13 laps thus far. You are correct.
Yeah, Stephen Luttrell was gaining a little ground on him, starting to fall back a little bit now. And Sean Dunaway knocking on the back door of Christopher Pendle in that 94 machine, currently sitting third.
Yeah, great race so far as we're now working lap number 13 of 105, coming to begin lap 14 as Andrew Tuff continues to lead and power out front. You know, both of us could be wrong. This could be Andrew Tuff's race today as long as he can keep it clean and green on pit road.
Yeah, it is true. You know, clean air at tracks like this is honestly very key, especially since they've done some drafting updates since this track was more dominant,
Yeah, it's drafting here, like we were talking earlier, didn't see teamwork really, probably not going to be a big thing here today, due to the fact that the track isn't really a drafting track, but you could probably use, if you could get side by side, about a 4 or 5 car battle, that's the only way I think teamwork would really benefit from anything here today, is being able to block up those lanes and keep the passes from happening.
That, especially if you can get down there and use a little bit of side draft and you're on the outside, I think it'd definitely pay off, especially in 1 and 2.
Yeah, you know,
3 and 4 now. I guess 3 and 4.
All right. Alrighty, looking to pass for the race lead. Stephen Luttrell looks to the inside. Andrew Tuff dropping back now. Does he give any spots up to Pendle? Looks like he's going to fall right in line there behind Luttrell. So we've got a Toyota, 2 Fords, and a Chevy, your top 4 right now.
It's absolutely wild that, Stephen Luttrell's typically one of the only people that runs Toyota, but it looks like Kirby Wainscott going to be running a Toyota today as well. Field's mainly Chevys, but it's about the Ford show up here in the front.
Yeah, it's we got 1, 2, 3. I wish I had something just counted how many brands we had. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 10 Chevys in attendance tonight. 2 Toyotas and looks to be about 5 Fords. Yeah, wow, what a diverse field we've got tonight. Everybody says Chevy, and this could be come back to being brand specific and maybe a little impartial, but iRacing did release the Chevy first when it came to the sim racing here on their service, and being the fact that they did that, I think it's made people impartial to the Chevy. And man, that fin on the top of that 36 car where it comes up to the roof, it's the aero fin on that left side. It's clear, but man, that thing stuck out like a sore thumb coming around there, and it's weird how that shark fin's cut in air.
Yeah. And I'm going to try to do a little bit of checking throughout the field here. Let's see. So Brandon Beatty maintaining that gap back there, actually pulling away from the second group of cars. It looks like Kyle Hess making his way up to the field a little bit, up 2 spots currently.
Yeah, Brandon Beatty has a teammate with him tonight, Bill Hagan in the 48. He's currently in the 14th spot, so there's quite some distance between those 2 drivers.
I think we're starting to see some of these drivers back here in the back getting, have a little bit of trouble. Some tires are starting to fall off pace a little bit here.
Yeah, it's looks like they're having falling off pace a little bit. Either that or they're saving tire, and maybe they're just slowing down while the other drivers still going that much faster. They'll be able to make up that ground when the others burn their stuff off. But Stephen Luttrell out front over Christopher Pendle right now, and Sean Dunaway as Andrew Teppt is falling back to the 4th spot.
And it looks like we got a little bit of a battle going on for this 12th place spot, but the 17 of Hendricks Brownberg ended up getting into the wall, makes a little bit of contact with the 48 of Bill Hagan. But they were able to keep it straight and still green flag racing.
Yeah, we caught a little bit of that contact. Hopefully not going to hurt them that when we missed that part. It looked like somebody really... Oh, there we go. I would say those are just paintings on the wall. I thought somebody really stuffed it in there and left some tire marks up there. But that was earlier today and not part of our Xfinity Series race. Must have been the ARCA cars out here earlier.
That must have been Chastain saying he's not left until he sees God or checkered flag, you know.
Well, he's still got a long way to go here, so he better go stride that wall. As here we go. Race for the lead. Christopher Pendle dives it in deep. Celsius 94 to the race lead over the 36 of Stephen Luttrell. Luttrell goes to the second. Going to try to battle back on the inside, and that Toyota Supra does not make the pass. He'll hang on to the second spot now. Sean Dunaway currently in third.
And Sean Dunaway is someone that's really good at being able to manage his tires here, especially now that he's working his way up through the field. And be looking for him to potentially take over this race lead at some point.
We have 3rd, 4th, 8th, and 16th are current Chicken Coop Racing teammate positions. So Sean in 3rd, Andrew 4th, Curtis 8th, and Kirby Wainscott back in looks like the 16th position.
And man, I'm gonna tell you, that 94 car so shiny on my screen, it's about blinded me.
Yeah, he's a little shiny on a couple areas. I got him dialed down on my end to bring the collar out, but it's looking pretty good there on that. I don't know, is it Deep Racing Ford 94 machine? He's got the Pepsi sponsor on the side of it. I can see that, but man, he had to draw the brake a little bit there and keep that car rotated, but he had to use the gas end brake. He's driving with 2 feet in that car for sure to keep that thing off the wall right now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And then, me personally, I like to mess with my brake bias throughout the race. So like right now, I'd definitely be cutting it back. I'm sure they're getting a little loose, but it'd help with the entry a little bit. But it's a fine line. You take it too far, it costs you, a chance to spin out there. And you have it too far forward, you're just gonna burn your front tires off. So everyone's a little different.
Yeah, most definitely. The biggest mover so far right now is Lee Campbell. And before we get into our pit stops, and let's see, we're 25 laps in, so halfway between pit stop and green flag. Our biggest movers so far going to be Lee Campbell up 5 spots, currently in 7th. Brandon Sanfilippo up 4 spots, currently in 9th. Kyle Hess is up 2 spots, currently in the 6th spot. Sean Dunaway's up 2 spots, currently in 3rd. And Russ Martin Jr. up 1 spot, currently 17th.
Well, at least he's not last.
Yeah, most definitely is.
Took him a little bit of a hard time, but
right, just a little bit.
But Christopher Pendle actually starting to put a little bit of a gap on the field here. Stephen Luttrell falling back to almost a second. Sean Dunaway about 2 seconds behind them here, and he is slowly reeling them in though.
You have to keep right on rolling with the punches here as they work lap number 27 with 78 laps remaining.
And Christopher Pendle actually running a little bit different line in 3 and 4, kind of sliding it up high to get a really good drive out. It's actually where he's gaining some time on Luttrell, I believe.
Yeah, and something we haven't brought up yet, and I don't know that we're going to see it. We might. I'm not going to say we won't. Lap traffic.
Looks like Hendricks might have had a little bit of an issue here coming out of turn 2.
It's like you say, he went off track, so yeah, he potentially could have.
Yeah, he just got a little loose, got it in the grass, hit the inside wall, and I think he got it towed back to the pits.
Oh, yeah, he jumped. He definitely damaged the splitter on the front of that race car.
Yeah, and I don't know that we're going to see it. But we might.
We might. I'm not going to say we won't. Lap traffic. It's like you say, he went off track, so yeah, he potentially could have. Yeah, he just got a little loose, got it in the grass, hit the inside wall, and I think he got it towed back to the pits. Oh, yeah, he jumped. He definitely damaged the splitter on the front of that race car. Yeah,
Yeah, that's going to hurt his race today. I mean, he does have one faster pair available, but that toe is probably going to take a good minute and a half, 2 minutes here to put him about 2 or 3 laps down.
Oh, I'm sure that's a very long way and a long road to hoe to take your way back to pit road.
But, I will say, uh, at least he did tow and didn't bring out a caution so everyone else could continue racing. As the
Right
field's
on.
pretty spread out right now.
It is. That it is. We're gapping out quite a good bit. There's a couple of there's a 3-car pack, couple 3-car packs, and a couple 2-car packs. But for the most part, everybody's kind of by themselves.
I would say this is kind of typical racing for Racers Elite. Everyone kind of gets spread out, leaving each other room, but this is probably the first mile and a half I've done in quite a while, as I've really been mostly super speedways here the past 2 or 3 months. I feel like.
Oh yeah, that's it's one of those things, man. You can't knock it watching the racing we got going on here. It's last week we had multiple races that went almost green to checkered. So flag to flag, and then Thursday went 5 laps short of going flag to flag, and the caution come out. It's one of those things, man. And then after that, calamity ensued, and I don't even. We have one. I think we had 3 wrecks and no cautions in the last 5 laps. They weren't cautions. Yeah, they did. We have wheels rolling down the speedway, and it was nuts. We had a car flip upside down and no caution.
I was in a truck race the other day. I had 2 people wreck in front of me. I checked up, and someone punted me into the wall. How about a caution didn't come out? They were completely sideways down the backstretch, I might add. And I had to go in and get like 7 minutes of damage fixed. Put me 10 laps down. I ended up getting back down to 5 laps down, I think. Gained about 5 or 6 spots for points, but
yeah, it's nuts.
iRacing is a little picky about cautions sometimes. I mean, sometimes they'll throw it for someone going on the apron. Sometimes there'll be 4 cars wrecked on the backstretch and they won't throw it. And you never know. Kind of like playing Russian roulette,
Yeah, most definitely. It's and just interesting. It looks like Hendrix Bomberg has returned to the racing surface. He is going to be about 3 laps down as he joins us. So he'll have to try and get that back, and we'll see how tire wear affects the rest of the field, and maybe that will be the way he gets his laps back. As the number 50 Grizzly sponsored Chevy Camaro of Terry Fennell working the 17th position here on your screen. Slow and steady. Just kind of looking at a couple of drivers going forward here. Go ahead, Dakota.
I'm still up here watching the leaders, and I thought Stephen Luttrell was about to do a kickflip for a minute because he got loose coming off the corner. Able to keep that straight, and it actually started reeling in Pendle just a hair.
Yeah, he was a tick faster last lap and this lap. Luttrell just a little bit there.
He might have got something figured out here. We'll have to see. We're working about lap 37 or 105 pit stops, less than 20 laps away. And I know these tires have got to be screaming for help at this point.
If they're not, I would definitely be surprised, as we still have 18 drivers on the racetrack with us, one of them 3 laps down, and your field not quite in lap traffic yet. Don't know that we'll get there, but we're going to find out.
Yeah, about 7 seconds away from being in the lap traffic, I think. They're running about 30-second laps or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about 8-9 seconds away from them if they can ruin that gap.
I don't know who that was that came over the radio, but that sounded like a CB for a minute. I got the whole and everything. A little bit of communication going on between the drivers here.
Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not good communication. Sometimes it's a verbal displeasure.
Yeah, that is very true, but a little bit of update on a few things here. Kirby Wainscott passed Truth Hoke for the 14th spot. Russell Martin Jr. passed Truth Hoke for 15th. And Troy Thomas passed Bill Hagan for P12. So still a little bit of passing going on throughout the field.
So the fastest 5 drivers on the speedway right now over the course of the last 5 laps, Christopher Pendle, who's currently your race leader. Hendricks Bromberg back in the just changed. Andrew Teft in the 4th spot. Sean Dunaway in 3rd. Stephen Luttrell in 2nd. And Brendan Sanfilippo in 8th. Those are your fastest 5 for the last 5 laps. Fastest average 5 laps.
Yeah, and I think every time I say Stephen Luttrell's catching him, something happens because he started falling back yet again. Commentator's curse. At least he isn't wrecking, right?
Well, it says it right there on the side of the car. He's antisocial. You're messing it up.
Fair enough. Coming over here to check out YouTube chat, we got Let's Go Stephen Luttrell, Go 36. Pendle to the lead, tire management, baby. And that is very true. Tire management is 100% key at Old Phoenix. Hell, even New Phoenix, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I come here, it was a different game, but I did a race, and I ended up blowing a tire on the last lap and rode the wall all the way around to cross the line, I believe, for like a P5 or something. And the field might be spread out, but absolute phenomenal racing out of everybody's. We've only had, I believe, one issue. And that was with Hendricks. They're getting a little loose off the corner, but everyone else keeping it straight and steady for the most part. And it's really going to show practice does pay off at these types of tracks.
All right, working lap 43. We're about 9 laps short, I believe, from our first round of pit stops coming up.
Yeah, and a few more updates. It looks like Kyle Hess passed Brandon Beatty for P5. We had Troy Thomas pass Barry Nelson for P11. Lee Campbell passing Brandon Beatty as well for P6. That's going to flirt Brandon Beatty all the way to 7th. It seems like, he ran a lot of practice laps, but he's struggling a little bit with some tire management at the moment. But we'll have to see after pit stops. You never know. Typically, after the first pit stop, everyone's got a better understanding of what they need to do for their car, and that's where we really start to see people shine. Like Sean Dunaway, typically, he might burn his tires up on the first round, but second round, he's a lot better about saving them, having really good speed towards the end of a long round.
Yeah, really close battle on the racetrack right now. Truth Hoke is trying to fend off Terry Fennell. Fennell trying to find a way to get around in that number 50 Grizzly sponsored ride. As Truth looks like he pulls down a little bit. Man, I'll tell you what, the 50 at Pendle slowed down. Here comes the race leader. We have lap traffic involved now, and the 94 at Pendle makes his way through it as the 50 gets stuck on the high side. Got a little loose there. He's going to draw his brake a little bit as Pendle now trying to put cars between him and Stephen Luttrell. Truth Hook will stick to the high side here, allowing the 94 to sneak by on the inside. Pendle will put him a lap down. And man, I think we get there before we got to our first pit stop, but this is going to change the way this race lays.
Man, can you see that damage on Truth Hoke's machine there? It looks like both of his fenders are kind of bent in quite a bit.
Well, he got a little bit there. I don't know. Trying to take
Never mind. It don't look as bad now that I got closer, but I swear a minute ago it looked like he had wheel damage.
He might. I mean, it doesn't look like it's scuffed or anything, so I think he hit the wall. Well, here comes Sean Dunaway now. He's going to join Stephen Luttrell and Christopher Pendle and getting around Truth Hoke in the 55 as they continue to try to battle their way forward to catch Christopher Pendle. Your current race leader won lap 47 of 105.
Well, let's get the lap sled check. I believe Andrew Teth had led about, 20-some laps there. So I'm thinking Christopher Pendle will probably be taking over the most lap sled here very shortly. Or should have already taken over that.
He sure has. That's he's led 25 so far. And Andrew Teth led 16. So he definitely has taken that over.
Oh, well, I thought he led about 20. That'd be my bad there. But
you're close.
Christopher Pendle with a very good showing today. That is for sure. Barry Nelson's off the track. Let's see if I can get a look at this here. Ooh, got a little loose coming out of 2. Hit that really big jump in the grass.
So things got a little spicy.
Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie. If I hit that bump, that'd probably scare me if I didn't know it was there.
Just get up there for now.
It looks like Brandon Filippo was able to get around Brandon Biddy for P7 as well. So he's currently up 6 spots along with Lee Campbell.
Yeah, with
I,
the.
be-
Go ahead.
I believe the 48 is going to be pitting this time by.
They'll be coming down to get some of that go-go juice here. Check out.
Racers that win, pour it in, and we appreciate you.
Got us Monster Jam, motocross.
Thank you. All kinds of stuff in the Renegade Race Fuels pit. There's these guys burning purely Sunoco race fuel here on the iRacing.com simulator. Is back here at the Phoenix International Raceway as Christopher Pendle continues to lead as you're watching the 12 of Brandon Sanfilippo. Chevy Camaro rocking around here as he's slowly reeling in the back of Truth Hook's number 55 AC Delco machine. Not a battle for position. Truth Hook is a lap down. And Christopher Pendle is working on extending his lead as he's got almost a 2-second lead over Stephen Luttrell right now.
Well, you know, I'm gonna say I think Lee Campbell's probably been one of the best at managing his tires. The lap times might not show it, but he's up 6 positions and he's held it. And I mean, he is slowly reeling in Kyle Hess, I believe, here. And Brandon Sanfilippo as well, up 6 spots, managing his tires pretty well.
We're getting close to pit stops, but let's take a look.
Brandon Beatty just entered pits.
Yep, see, there we go. Pit stops are coming up. There's Brandon Beatty comes down pit road. And I believe he's the first one and the only one so far. See if anybody else decides to take with them. But fastest 5 drivers last lap were Hendricks Bromberg with a 30.77 second lap, but his pit cycle is way off. Kyle Hess 31.06 seconds. Christopher Pendle 31.12. This thing is changing as we roll around here. More drivers get their lap times in. Lee Campbell 31.18 and Sean Norio 31.20. So here's an idea of the fastest 5 drivers on the racetrack currently are.
Stephen Luttrell come down to pits. Looks like Sean Dunaway as well. And as fast as Christopher's been on this long run, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to stretch his fuel as far as he possibly can.
Yeah, he's been fairly quick, and it's definitely paid dividends to him. As looks like Stephen Luttrell working his way to his pit boxes. Very long pit box here. He slides to a stop, gets in here. Looks like right side's going to be a 4-tire stop probably for him. We'll take a look at the pit stop data once everybody has made their cycle here, as we've got quite a ways to go for everybody to get on off pit road. Remember, we do have a total of 18 drivers have to make their way to, on and off in pit road to check, see what kind of pit stops that they had.
And it looks like Andrew Teff down, the Nitrous Cowboy Troy Thomas down as well. And Christopher Pendle, our leader, coming in. Kyle Hess potentially going to get a lap lead here in the 86 machine.
Yeah, just a little over halfway home already. 57, working lap 57, 48 laps remain. I was waiting. I see the right side. So I thought, man, there ain't no way he's gonna just do fuel only. I seen the right side finally pop up. I was like, all right. So you see a 4-tire stop for the 94 Celsius sponsored Ford. So he's down and away. And it looks like everybody but Lee Campbell and Bill Hagan has come to pit road. Does that stand correct? As Lee Campbell dives to pit road in the number 60, and Bill Hagan in the 48 will work his way around. He's probably coming to pit road this time.
And look at that, Sean Dunaway side by side with Christopher Pendle, just because he pitted a little bit early here, but Pendle's going to have the fresher tires.
Yeah, most definitely. Bill Hagan, your race leader, currently in the 48, did not pit this time. He's going to stretch it out one more lap here as he's going to come around. We'll see if the 48 comes down pit road this time as he rounds the back straightaway through turns 3 and 4. Does the 48 come to pit road as he is currently being scored as your race leader? Bill Hagan slow on the throttle, gets that Lowe's number 48 down to the apron, and he's coming to pit road. Hand the race lead over to 36. Yep, you're right.
I was going to say. So that's going to give him a point for leading the lap here as well. And, you know, much needed points for all these drivers that were able to stay out a little longer or pit a little early to get, you know, spots to get an extra point.
Yeah, those bonus points do pay off when it comes down to the end of the season. And you'll see that throughout the course of this season, especially with the way that these drivers are racing. Brandon Sanfilippo, last week's race winner, currently in the 15th spot, just past Terry Fennell right now, currently on pit road for his stop. But that's a big thing there, trying to stay on the lead lap, and looks like Truth Hoke's been down pit road twice.
Yeah, and Sanfilippo pit from 6th place, I believe. Must have had some kind of black flag or something coming down to the pit road or some kind of issue there, as he lost quite a bit of spots.
We really don't miss that kind of stuff, but we're going to take a look here and see. Truth Hoke didn't seem to, yeah, might have had some damage. We'll see if there's any damage. So he had 4-second stops. So I think he had a stop and go penalty, probably for speeding or unsafe pit exit for Truth Hoke. We'll take a look at the 12 of Brendan Sanfilippo, and it looks like he had one stop, but he had a bad timing when coming to make a stop. I'm not seeing anything that says anything otherwise. Happened to the number 12 machine.
I think I see what happened. I think he got a black flag for missing the pit road entry as he went around the cone.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's possible. But yeah, it's things playing around here. Stephen Luttrell, your race leader. He's currently trying to keep the gap between him and the 94 Pendle. Pendle is on the charge though. Stephen Luttrell's fastest lap so far, 29.349. Last time by was a 30.118. Here comes Pendle, 29.795. He is going to reel him in like a bunch of dogs chasing a squirrel, if he keeps that pace up. Here comes the Bloodhounds, Dakota.
Alright, so I did go watch Brandon's pit stop. He did get a black flag. That is why he...
I'm not saying correction. I'm not seeing nothing because there was something I did not see.
Yeah, I watched. He was in his pit box for a good probably like 40 or 50 seconds there, unless something else happened. But we're just going to assume a black flag for now. As you said, you know, the Bloodhounds are coming, and Stephen Luttrell kind of looking like a sitting duck right now with the way these guys are pulling up on him.
Yeah, Stephen Luttrell right now still your race leader over Christopher Pendle. We'll see how much longer that lasts. Christopher Pendle has cleared himself of all the lap traffic for the time being. And, man, is it just me, Dakota, or does this track really look like it's taking rubber really, really well right now?
Oh, yeah. And you can definitely see it getting a little darker, especially in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, I thought 1 and 2 looked real bad, but 3 and 4 definitely still right there with it. It's interesting to see the rubber content laying on this racing surface.
That is one thing you don't really get to see with new paves and stuff like that. You don't necessarily see the rubber laying down on the track that will give you that little bit of extra grip. Yeah. It's still there, it's just where the track's so much darker.
Yeah, looking back here in the 11th spot, Kirby Wainscott trying to make up any positions that he possibly can. That group being a lap down, they got around Barry Nelson's number 98 machine to take over that spot. Kirby Wainscott moves to P11 over over Barry Nelson. Bill Hagan has fallen to the 13th spot. He's hanging on in that number 48. Russ Martin Jr. is currently in the 14th spot. And biggest mover of the race, we've got 3 of them up 5 spots. Lee Campbell in the 60, currently in 7th, who would actually be the award winner of that if the race were to end right now. But Troy Thomas up 5 spots. He started 15th. He's 10th. And Kirby Wainscott started 16th. He's in 11th. That's another one up 5 spots. So, and biggest upset so far, you have to be the 55 of Truth Hope, 14 spots docked from his starting position of 4th place, currently in the 18th position.
And Christopher Pendle looking like a wolf stalking his prey right now as he's closing in slowly but surely on Stephen Luttrell. It looks like he's trying not to burn his tires up in the process of doing this. But catching up to him and getting around him is 2 totally different things. As I imagine, Stephen Luttrell could probably make that car 3 or 4 lanes wide if he really wants to here.
Yeah, looks like, looking at the last pit stop info, it looks to be a 4-tire stop for the majority of the drivers out there. Brandon Sanfilippo made repairs. Hendricks Bromberg and made repairs. And Truth Oak's little skirmish there, it says that fuel only, but that means that he had that stop and go penalty. And that is why he is down there on the bottom of that list with a different set of pit stop stats. So we got our 1 pit stop in. We'll see how that plays out for these drivers. You think anybody's going to come in for a second stop, try to get those tires back under and make a late race charge at the win maybe?
Honestly, with everyone stretching their field out to be able to make it to the end here, I don't really see anyone else come back down to pits, but I'm kind of feeling like we're going to have a caution. Just that magical C word, and it's going to throw a wrench in everybody's plans here.
That is a big monkey wrench in some plans if I ain't ever heard one myself. No, we're about.
It would definitely make the race a little bit interesting as these drivers are kind of getting more used to their car. They'd be able to push a little harder, especially coming in getting for more fresh stickers.
Yeah, speaking of that, we got everybody pretty much setting their best lap times of the race here as of late. Lap 61, 62, 63, 62, 64, 61. These drivers setting lap times their personal best, like Troy Thomas, Kirby Wainscott, Bill Hagan, Lee Campbell. Bill did it 2 laps in a row, 3 laps in a row. Terry Fennell and Troy Thomas back on that list as well. And Truth Oak, another personal best, is a lot of drivers at this 29-second lap times right now. As they draw back into the 30s as the race goes on. So about 3/4 of the way through, we're going to take one more quick pause here before we get rolling and bring us to the end of this race.
Does your heart pump nitro? Do you like to put your ride to the test? Well, then you're our kind of driver. The performance oils, lubricants, and industrial fluids from Nitro Lubricants help you get the most from your vehicle's engine. And our line of appearance products will keep your vehicle looking as smooth as it runs. If you want extreme performance, it's nitro or nothing. Shop our products at nitrolubricants.com. Nitro Lubricants, extreme performance.
Alrighty, we're back here to bring us to the end of this race. 30 laps remain. Lap 75 underway. Stephen Luttrell, your race leader, got it snookered away from Christopher Pendle. Just Pendle looking at it right now on the 94 Celsius sponsored ride. And Stephen Luttrell trying to draw away from him, but man, Pendle's just quick.
Oh, look to the inside of Luttrell. Not able to get there.
He tried. It's gonna be. He's got to buy this time. Patience is key right now. They've got some wear on these tires. It's been a few laps since that pit stop. Back on 55 for Luttrell and back on lap 57. So 2 laps newer tires. But I tell you what, Christopher Pendle hunted like a dog, and he may have burned it up. as he draws hard. Maybe that car got loose. He's going to lose a ton of ground on the 36 of Luttrell. Just that little bit of move there coming off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway.
Yeah, and that's one thing. He does have the tire advantage, but he's got to be very careful trying to get around Luttrell here, because if he burns his stuff up doing it, I mean, that's just going to leave him a sitting duck for Luttrell to attack back.
I'm worried that he burned it up getting there. That's the worst part. You know, I don't think he had it. You know, I think the car got loose. He lost control of it, and that was the biggest issue that he had trying to make that pass. He's now trying to reel him back in. He's drawing him in, but he's got to do it very carefully.
Yeah, it is true, especially with Steven Luttrell getting him a little bit of dirty air as well, which could really make that car get a little loose or a little tight depending on what corner you're in here. But Christopher Pendle is driving it in pretty deep here, as he does actually get a pretty good exit that time out of 3 and 4.
Yeah, a good exit and really keeping it close to real tight with that 36 Luttrell.
Whoa, Luttrell getting a little loose out of 2. And things are about to be heating up here for the lead. Ooh, I thought he's going to go to the inside. He's going to try the outside this time, see if he can get a little bit better runner off coming down the front stretch. As they do have a lap car, he's going to be trying to look back to the inside, not able to get completely to his bumper. So he's trying, but Steven Luttrell, like I said, going to make that car about 3 or 4 lanes wide. .25 to go.
Yeah, great racing action going on here. Is the battle for the race lead. You know, they got to be very careful. A lot of racing left to go, and they've got a 4.5 second lead, about a 4.25 second lead over Sean Dunaway in the 0-1 machine. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out, and if Pendle can make this happen from P2 today. We'll take a look at our top 10 in points coming into today's race here, just to make it short and sweet. Tonight, next week, we'll get back into a full standings rundown. Brandon Sanfilippo, right now, your current point leader is 48 points. He's currently running in the 15th position. Sean Dunaway in second in points with 42 points. He's 6 points out of the point lead. And currently, he is in third on the racetrack. Christopher Pendle in third place in points with 41 points. Is lap traffic playing a role here in your battle for the race lead? As Luttrell goes to the
Pendle
inside
got a
of the
really
8.
good look to the outside, just nowhere to go with it.
Yeah, I mean that blows. He had, I think, and when we say he had a really good look, I think he might have actually caught some draft and it pulled him right along. Like he drove right into the corner there, getting a little bit of side draft off the 8, because you have to backpedal a lot to keep that car down on that inside line.
That is very true, but Curtis Eckert trying to be courteous, stay up top to let these guys by. And after passing that car, the gap's back to a 0.3 gap, so Pendle going to have to reel Luttrell back in again here and see if he can make another move.
Well, he's got 21 laps to do it, so patience is not a problem here. He's got plenty of time. There's no rush on it. It's he's in full send mode. He's got to get there. He's got to be there to make the move, and that is the hardest part. If he can stay calm enough to get there, he should be able to make the pass, keep the car under him, and hopefully the tires hook up and help him get the job done. We'll get back to it here. We had a tie for the third place in points between Christopher Pendle, which was talked about on the racetrack, and Andrew Tuft at 41 points apiece. So bonus points playing a role in that after last week's race. Steven Luttrell currently in fifth with 40 points, as he's currently your race leader, being hunted by the 94 of Christopher Pendle. In the sixth position is Hendrix Bromberg with 38 points. Seventh is Jonathan Stidham with 37 points. Kyle Hess in eighth with 36 points. Brandon Biddy rounds out ninth with 35 points, and running at your top 10 is Lee Campbell with 34 points. So 14 points back. So really tight points battle. Hopefully it stays that way throughout the rest of this season. And makes it interesting, keeps the drivers on their toes, and makes them come out and put on a great show for all the fans here, the Racers Elite Network. And I want to thank Andrew for having us and allowing us to do this. And man, it's been Been a fun race so far. And we are just getting started on the action as it looked like Luttrell may have driven up the racetrack a little bit. Pendle with a great run off of turn number 4 to the start-finish line. And he will reel him in by just almost a quarter of a second now. As he keeps drawing that gap back and forth. There's Pendle's trying to push that car to the center of the corner.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's pushing as the rear end of that car keeps wanting to kick out. He's right on the absolute limit of what that car can handle here at the moment.
Yeah, riding on board with Christopher Pendle. We'll see just what he's doing here as he rolls around behind the number 36 of Stephen Luttrell, the antisocial number 36 Toyota.
Yeah, I've seen what he's doing. He's going really high in 3 and 4, and it's allowing him to get a really good run off there. But it's kind of trade-off of burning up your tires a little bit as well, doing that. So that's why he's not doing it every single lap, I believe.
He's not, but it's not really helping him out too much. As you see, we watch Stephen Luttrell out on the throttle. You see the backfire out of the exhaust as he gets that car down below an ideal fuel mode. Down the front straightaway, clicking laps off, 16 to go. Last time by, Stephen Luttrell still faster.
Yeah, if he's able to keep this up, I mean, as long as he makes no mistakes, he's sitting at a pretty good spot right now. So it seems like Pendle does not have an answer to get around him here, but still, like you said, 16 laps to go. Anything can happen. I mean, we can still have a caution at this point. And one of my biggest shockers is Sean Dunaway, who's typically, really good at saving tires and such that I've seen at other tracks. Kind of just falling off from our leaders here, who's been, I'd say, racing pretty hard since they come out of pits.
He's probably been racing really hard. Probably been doing exactly what your leaders are doing right now, as they are wearing out those tires and keeping those Goodyears heated up as they roll around the racetrack. So they're definitely keeping them scuffed up and got the grip wore off of them. So hopefully, nothing against Sean Dunaway, but he's kind of got to figure something out because they are almost 5 full seconds ahead of him and he is running out of time.
And I did just see Barry Nelson went off the track here. Looks like he got a little loose coming out of 2. Got down there in that grass and hit that big jump style points, and back on the track he goes.
He is checking the box. His things I haven't done at Phoenix.
Hey man, sometimes you just want to do a little bit of rally racing, so you go hit the jump. There you go.
That's right.
And what a turn of events. I mean, we were sitting here thinking Christopher Pendle, after the pit stop, was probably going to run away with this thing. But, Stephen Luttrell finally getting a little bit of an answer for him. As you see Pendle get a little loose coming out of 2, and that is going to lose him a bunch of time to Luttrell.
Yeah, it's tooth and nail right now with 13 laps remaining. Make it 12 next time by as the field works their way out of turn number 4. Yeah, I tell you, it's a quick refresher here. Didn't you pick Stephen Luttrell earlier?
We're not going to bring that up yet because I ain't trying to do a commentator's curse, but possibly.
Well, I also picked Christopher Pendle, so we have a commentator's battle for the race lead.
Hey, that is very fair.
It doesn't happen very often.
Oh, well, there's a third car back here getting up into the wall. I'm not quite sure who that is.
That is the 17 of Bromberg.
Hendricks?
Yep. Back in the
He's
17th position in the 17 car. Fitting.
He sent it into that corner pretty hard there, trying to get up here to the leaders, possibly get a lap back.
Yeah, he knows it's there, the race leaders right now. I hate to watch the lead continuously, but Bromberg is driving the absolute wheels off of that car, trying to get that lap back. I mean, he's only, might only be 1 lap down. No,
he's 4
laps down. As I correct myself. Stand corrected. 4 laps down, trying to get it all back here.
Oh, Stephen Luttrell getting loose out of 2, Pendle into the wall. And that is going to shake things up here just a little bit. As the paddle is starting to heat up, we got 10 laps to go. It looks like Pendle taking a look to the outside, going to try to get a really good run coming down the front stretch here. And it does look like he's going to be able to do so. He's going to be trying to take a look to the inside as Luttrell got a little loose, Pendle into the wall, but still gets to the inside of Luttrell here.
This is going to get dicey. Battle for the race lead. Here comes Pendle to the inside, Luttrell to the outside. The 36 in the 94 drag race off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Luttrell able to hang on with the momentum. Pendle drives down to the, he's in the grass. Hang on a minute. Pendle tries to go off-road a little bit, take the race lead. Does not happen. He drives the high side through turns 3 and 4. He's going to come to the line this time by. We're in single digits to go. It's 8 laps to go for your race leaders.
Yeah, and the nerves are starting to get to them there a little bit as we're seeing mistakes out of both drivers, but it's making for some really good race action up here for the lead.
It sure is, and there's a gap there now, but just give it a moment because here comes the 94 Pendle once again. A little over a quarter of a second gap between your race leaders, between Luttrell and Pendle. Dunaway actually, unfortunately, is back a little over 5 seconds from your race leaders, so not really a contention unless we'd have a caution.
And Pendle sent it in deep, 3 and 4, called a little bit of time there, but into the wall, not once, but twice coming down the front stretch.
Wow.
But it didn't really lose him much momentum as he's getting towards the back bumper. Stephen Luttrell again. Oh, he's getting loose coming out of 2. He's able to keep it straight, though.
Man, there's a lot of looseness going on in the back of that 94 car right now. He has burnt those tires up. He's still faster than Stephen Luttrell.
Yeah, he's giving it everything he's got right now. Trying to take over this race lead. They're coming down the front stretch. He's going to try to take a look to the inside. Stephen Luttrell's going to get another good run off the turn 4.
And Pendle still faster that time by what a lap. I tell you what, we're gonna get rid of the gap here. We're gonna show the last lap times. We're gonna let you guys see what's going on in these last few laps as far as lap times. Who's the quickest is. I mean, I'll tell you what, Kyle has 30.962 last time by, so he's definitely saved some tire, and he's one of 2 drivers still in the 3 drivers still in the 32nd bracket.
Taking another look to the inside. They're almost making contact. Stephen Luttrell not giving them a lot of room to come up the track there. Very smart move, making it a little harder for him to get the throttle down. Like I said, making that car 3 or 4 lanes wide here. As you see, Pendle going to try to take another look to the inside and not able to get there. Oh, he's just going to send it really low again. Almost got into the grass.
We have to go back to Pendle here and keep an eye on this battle. As you see Stephen Luttrell right there in front. We're going to have to take a look at from the gyro cam on the right side. We're going to go on board, passenger seat style with Christopher Pendle for about 2 laps here, and then we're going to go 2 to go, and we'll see how things go. As right now it's 4 laps remaining here as they work their way now through turns number 1 and 2, off of 2 down the back straightaway.
Give him a little bump. A little bump.
Bump and run, baby. Line her up.
Stephen Luttrell just able to get a little bit better drive off of the corner, but Pendle's able to get into the corner so much better. And I got a feeling on last lap it's not going to be so nice here. We're going to see a little bit of a bump. Just went to Rattle's cage, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we're about to see just how antisocial Stephen Luttrell's going to get with Christopher Pendle on the last lap pass potentially.
Yeah, as we're currently 3 to go, getting ready to come by for the last 2 laps of this race. It's all down to Luttrell and Pendle. One mistake could end it for either one of them here, as Luttrell's going to take a little bit of an inside line for 3 and 4. That is going to give Pendle a pretty good run off, but he's getting really loose, and he was able to save it.
He may have been getting loose, and he was a little slower last time by. Looks like it might have been just .001 faster. Oh, big run to the center of the corner. I think Stephen Luttrell is trying to pace the race to the end without having to get into lap traffic.
Yeah, that is quite possible, but lap traffic could help him. Pendle into the wall, getting really loose into the wall again, and that might have hurt his chances here, as that's going to cost him about 0.2 seconds. He's probably going to send it as we're coming to the white flag this time. No more cautions. This race is official. Stephen Luttrell at the point. Pendle trying to creep in and get him here. He is closing the gap in.
Well, it's records or checkers here at this point, because third place is about 5.5 seconds back to Sean Dunaway. Christopher Pendle hangs on to the second spot for the time being down the back straightaway for the final time as they roll out of turn number
he's sending it in.
Oh, he drove it to the bumper. Not gonna make it, I don't believe, as long as Stephen Luttrell can hang on to it off of turn number 4. And Stephen Luttrell will pick up race number 2, his first win of the season in the Xfinity Series over Christopher Pendle and Sean Dunaway, rounding out your top 3.
And what a race between our leaders there. Sorry if we didn't focus on the rest of the field too much, but that was just a hell of a battle for about 20 laps.
And according to what we see here, I don't think we missed too much after lap 74. I think there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 passes, 8 passes, yeah. In the last 25 laps.
Stephen Luttrell finally able to get that monkey off his back, because I've been giving him a little bit of a hard time saying I wanted him to get a win here recently. So
And we'll head down to the Matt's Pizza Shop victory lane, and we'll be right back with a brief message from Matt's Pizza Shop.
Are you hungry? We have the cure. From our original pepperoni and cheese to our specialty pizzas, strombolis, and calzones. We have flavored chicken wings and other fried menu things. We have something here for everyone. We also have beverages for those over 21. Enjoy a cold draft today. Are you hungry? We have the cure. Matt's Pizza Shop, 402 Church Street, Newburgh, West Virginia. Dine-in or takeout, open Wednesday through Sunday, hours vary.
Alrighty, we're back here at the Phoenix National Raceway. We're going to talk with our top 3 finishers here. You see Stephen Luttrell sitting on the front stretch. He's quite happy with his performance, I'm sure, as long as everything irons out. Some of the rules around here they can come back to bite you, as we saw Friday night.
yeah, that is true.
So hopefully everything stands.
It looks like we got our second and third place finisher in the waiting room whenever you're ready, sir.
Alrighty, we'll pull up Sean Dunaway picking up a 3rd place finish here tonight. Sean, congratulations. The Hello Kitty machine was fast. Started in the 4th position, made your way to P3, and were able to hang on to that 3rd spot through the course of the event after the last pit stop, a green-to-checkered run here today.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely not fast enough. I don't know how Christopher and Steven were just flying up there, but yeah, I didn't really expect to have to start shifting during this race, because during practice never had to do that. So you were like not even like 10-15 laps in, and you had to start at least shifting into turn 1 there. That's the only turn I was shifting the whole time, so maybe they were shifting out of the other turns. But yeah, it was a challenging track, that's for sure. Got very tight, into turn 1 all the time, and then you were just very tight, through whatever they call it here. I think it's 3 and 4, but yeah, it was challenging.
So we definitely played that game all night. I would ask you if there's anything you think that you could have done better to maybe make a better race, but man, I tell you what, 3rd place with the group of guys here, that definitely says a lot, with Stephen Luttrell and Christopher Pendle both going 1-2 here in the battle they had at the end of this. You got any questions for Sean Dakota?
No, man, but congratulations on the P3 finish. Is there anyone you want to thank or shout out for helping you get it done, or any sponsors, sir?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, Hello Kitty. My wife, my mom and stepdad for always watching, and then my cats for trying to ruin my race here.
Best quote I always get to hear every week. My cats are trying to ruin my race. It makes my day, man.
Heck
Yep.
yeah.
Alrighty, guys.
Alrighty, man. Well, you have a good one, and go celebrate your P3 finish, sir.
Yep. See ya.
Alright, let's catch up with our 2nd place finisher now. Is my pick of the night, Christopher Pendle, not taking himself out of this one, even though he may have attempted to a couple of times at the outside retaining wall. Chris, a fantastic race, qualified 2nd, was able to maintain it throughout the course of the pit stop and to the checkered flag. Your key today to keep that number 94 Ford out front.
Just try to be patient, man. I spent about 100-some laps practicing last night trying to figure out my best line, and I felt something good there in the middle of the run there, and before pit stops I was starting to slowly pull away, and I know I pitted a couple laps later than the 36, and I was hoping that fresh tires was to be my advantage those couple laps, but I tried saving, and I caught up with him, and every time he'd get loose, I'd get loose. Every time he'd hit the wall, I hit the wall, or vice versa. So it's just so hard to get around him, the line he was running, and I was just trying to be patient, and I was hoping maybe the tire advantage would wear out eventually, but he was able to hold on. I'll take 2nd place, man. This one stings because I felt like I had a good enough car to win, and I just couldn't get around him, and I wasn't going to wreck him there for the win at the end. I mean, I almost wrecked myself a couple times, so I'll take a P2.
Okay, yeah, great. Great run there for you in that number 94. Man, I tell you what, you're my pick to win tonight because you're going to do it from the second spot. Thought your time was tonight, and we had an argument and a tussle up here in the booth, and Dakota ended up being right for Steven. So, man, it was a fun race and fun to watch you guys put on that show from up here. We had to apologize to everybody else that didn't get to highlight a lot of the racing action because you guys were putting on a show and being the show at the front of the field.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you picking me. And like I said, one spot short tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that. That was fun. I raced him as clean as I could. I raced him. I tried everything I could to get around him, but he was able to hold me off. And congrats to him on the win. And hopefully next week will be a different result.
Thank you. A great green to checkered clean run here for you tonight. And hopefully next week we'll see you in victory lane, Chris. A great run tonight.
Appreciate it.
All right, Dakota, I'll leave you down there with the race winner if you want to interview Mr. Stephen Luttrell since he was your pick.
All right, well, let's bring in our first place finisher, Stephen Luttrell, in that 36 machine. And man, oh man, have I been waiting for this one. You've been really close several times, and I finally get to interview you for a win, man. How you feel?
Hey, here we are. Yep, finally.
I mean, a heck of a job there. The first part of the run, Christopher Pendle was really quick, but I don't know what you did after that pit stop, but you had that car about 3 or 4 lanes wide, and y'all were beating and banging a little bit there for a little bit too. Walk us through your final few laps there, and how stressed was you?
Yeah, it took me till about lap 70, 75 or something to figure out how to get into turn 1. And when I finally did, figured it out. Got it to stick pretty good, but yeah, it was a lot of fun racing him, being able to, bumper to bumper, door to door, rubbing on each other, and bouncing off of each other and stuff, and not wrecking. It was a ton of fun. That's the way racing is. It's sometimes it gets a little physical, but hey, here we are.
Hey, that is very true, and you pulled away from him a little bit there at the end as he got into the wall and he got back on your bumper, and he got a pretty good dive to the inside and almost got your rear bumper there. Did I have that last move there worry you any, or are you very trusty of the other drivers in here?
Well, I don't think I've raced with him very much, but I'm trusting of all the drivers in here. I saw him push up into the corner on the previous lap, and I knew he was going to be coming, balls to the wall to come get me on the next one, so I saw him in my mirror just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I felt him tap my left rear, and I was just thankful that he didn't just drive straight through me. So yeah, he's definitely, I don't know that I've raced with him before in here. I probably have, but yeah, he's definitely one I can trust to be around, because yeah, he easily could have taken me out there on the last lap and chose not to, so commend him for that.
That is very fair, and Racers Elite does have some pretty good drivers. Everyone pretty calm-headed for the most part and very respectful here. And I will say, the Stephen Luttrell fan club in the house tonight, finally able to see you get a win here. And again, congratulations. Ronald, you got any more questions for him?
No, Stephen, a great race for you there, and a great pick there for you today. Dakota picking Stephen to win, and the announcer's curse didn't plague us tonight as both of us picked 1-2, so a great run, Stephen. Anybody you want to thank help you pick up the win here today at Phoenix?
Yeah, I just gotta thank everybody, all my family, my mom, my dad, my wife, my kids, my brother Eric is watching, everybody that just texts me and messages me and comes out and watches, all the fans, everybody.
Well, again, congratulations on your first place finish, and we look forward to seeing you up here in the booth throughout the season again, possibly, maybe even for another win, man. Yeah, go celebrate and have a good night, sir.
All right, thanks. I'll see you guys later.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, Mr. Ron.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. We'll do a full field rundown and see just how the course of the event went. Highlight a few things here on the way out. Stephen Luttrell picking up the race win, obviously, so that is awesome as we take a look at the race recap. So with that being said, your race winner, Stephen Luttrell. Christopher Pendle picking up the second spot for Misfits, so Luttrell Racing picks up the race win, Misfits picks up second. Chicken Coop Racing, Sean Dunaway picks up the 3rd spot. Here at Phoenix, with 105 laps being the total distance, we have 4 different leaders. No caution laps here tonight, Green-White-Checkered. Got a hard charger of Lee Campbell up 6 spots for the Misfits crew. Stephen Lachelle led the most laps, as well as picking up the race win with 54 laps. Stephen Lachelle also had the fastest lap tonight, so a lot of bonus points being picked up there, as Andrew Tepp did have the pole position, but unfortunately for him, I mean, not really unfortunate, still ended up with the top 5, but here we go. So your race winner, Stephen Lachelle. 2nd, Christopher Pendle. 3rd is Sean Dunaway. Coming home 4th is Kyle Hess. 5th, Andrew Tepp. Lee Campbell picks up the 6th spot. 7th is Brandon Biddy. Coming home 8th is Dennis Kane. 9th, Troy Thomas. Running out your top 10, Curtis Ecker. Coming home 11th, Kirby Wayne Scott. 12th is Bill Hagan. 13th, Russ Martin Jr. 14th is Brandon Sanfilippo. 15th, Barry Nelson. 16th, Terry Fennell. 17th, Hendricks Bromberg. And rounding out your field 4 laps down, Truth Hoke. So that is your race recap and your race results for tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here on the Racers Elite Network. I'd also like to thank Andrew Tepp for having us aboard, all the drivers for coming out and putting on a fantastic show. And we will see you guys next time here on the Racers Elite Network.